We are back with the eBay Motors Special LS Tesla. That's right. If you haven't been paying attention for the last, 6 months or so, we're putting a 6.2-liter V8 engine in a Tesla Model S. Well, the backstory is I found this car years ago, an insurance write-off that was in a Texas flood up to the roof with sewage, and no one wanted it because, let's be real here, no one's dumb enough to try to fix a flooded Tesla. So I got it, removed the motors, disassembled them, stored all the parts of the motors so we're good for future projects, and brought the remainder of the parts to the scrapyard so they could be turned into soda cans. Then I pressure washed the shell. My friend Sam started rebuilding a Tesla and needed a front end, so I gave him my entire front clip to fix his car. Speaking of that, Sam and I have currently the same amount of subscribers, so maybe you could help change that by hitting that subscribe button. Now here's a real challenge. Tesla isn't going to sell me a new battery, and finding a battery elsewhere is like finding the lost city of Atlantis, which is only possible if you know Aquaman as Scuba Steve. And even then, I end up playing the cat and mouse game with Tesla shutting off my supercharging access. How do I take matters in my own hands? How do I be more sustainable than Tesla by a factor of 2? Well, I'm going to put parts in it that are readily available off the shelf from a company that will happily separate me from my money without having to worry about shutting off features to my car remotely. Enter the LS. Now, last year, the YouTuber Plain Rock 124, whose MO was to smash very expensive electronics, decided he wanted to buy a Tesla and smash it, so I helped him buy one. He smashed it and burned it, and well, being the person I am and not letting things go to waste, we stripped it down and harvested all the electronics and suspension components we needed to build the Franken Tesla, aka ICE-T. It stands for Internal Combustion Engine Tesla. Then we fired up the computers to make sure they work. Now, the donor car engine we found on eBay from a company called Lee C Parts, an automotive recycler for high horsepower cars. I drove to pick up the nails by watching the car get smashed into pieces by a giant crane, which will also be turned into soda cans. So if you didn't get the memo, we really enjoy getting good deals on things and love new and exciting projects. So we made sure to download the eBay Motors app. Now, if you haven't been watching this trashy channel, that's a shame. We've done a lot of really cool projects here. The Mini Cooper Classic, the Humvee, the i8, the Cyber Quad, the Audi RS7, the Z06, the electric home. Now, if you ever wanted your own weird car and for some reason don't have the eBay Motors app, well, you're a pine cone. It's free and simple for buying and selling with their buyer protection program that protects you, unlike the Tesla I bought, the ones that didn't come with the battery pack. I'm not going to forget that anytime soon. So if you click the link below in the description box to start your own adventure of looking for your next vehicle. Now, before we get into this episode, if you're a fully functioning adult and have to ask yourself any of the following questions: why are you doing this? Why are you making it slower? Why are you going backwards instead of forwards? And why are you putting another gas car on the road? I wanted to let you know that there's nothing wrong with breathing through your mouth, okay, sweetie? Just do it someplace else. Matter of fact, have your parents send us an email at management@richrebuilds.com and we can give you a thorough explanation. But let the adults take it from here, okay? Mwah. Go back and play with your friends. Problem. I was trying to figure out why someone had this massive Dash 8 fuel rail system on an otherwise stock LS3, but the thing is I realized that you get these on eBay for like $150. Think to it. So what we need is we need a standalone system. The idea is to go with Haltech. We don't have the Haltech system, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
It's comfy back there. I get to lay down, spread my legs out.
Nice. Hey,
Nice to meet you. Do you have a minute to talk about our meme lord and savior, Elon Musk?
Oh, so what do we got here? What goodies do we have?
We have a full Haltech standalone LS harness.
Awesome.
Around my neck. Literally all the supporting Haltech goodies from a Dash
Haltech
to an Elite 2500.
Thank you.
And then I made a fuel system out of a Miata fuel pump and a Corvette.
I like that. It's pretty cool.
We needed something, right?
Yeah. Let's make this thing work.
Or electricity delivering system.
All right, so we have a do-it-right bucket. What we're going to do is we're going to make our own fuel tank out of this bucket. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Jimmy thankfully brought a very cool and very different fuel system for us. But this is what's going to power the car up for the first start. And you know what? If this looks good enough, we might just keep this.
Yeah,
full
strap
setup.
it in the passenger seat.
Why the heck not?
We're good to go.
Corvette fuel filter, because it's nice. So it's a filter and regulator in one. So this regulates the fuel pressure and only has one line out. So we only have to have a feed going to the rail. And then we had this converted up to Dash 8 with random fittings I found.
Yes, there's a lot of adapters there.
A lot of adapters. That's fine.
I have to start undoing some of the connectors on top of the motor to actually put the Haltech standalone system in. So
More issue I was just thinking about oil in a filter.
I'm sorry, come again?
Oil in a filter.
Oh, right.
That doesn't sound like a Tesla problem to me.
You know,
Did you prepare?
I'm so used to working on electric vehicles that I forgot that I had to bring oil and a filter to this. Here.
Perfect.
Love the color.
What is? I'm sorry.
Love it, dude.
This color? Everyone gives us like grief over this color, but like you're one of the few that actually like
What
it.
do they want? Like a Corvette bright.
Can't get up. You have to pull me out unless you want to hand me like a box of some.
All right, so we have a Tesla, so we got to put even more electronics in it, right?
Exactly,
That's how it all works. So we have the Elite 2500 Haltech standalone ECU. Top dog ECU right there. Big money for a big money guy.
This is well, not a big money guy anymore. I'll tell you that much.
And then we have their display, which is really dope. So you guys will probably see a lot of this. But that's your basically new dash. Kind of. Are you trying to utilize some of the dash?
Yes. So
Okay.
this is going to be hidden in some kind of console, probably around where the transmission tunnel is.
Just to make sure the
maybe?
engine's running.
Just to make sure, like, oh, what's that smell? Oh, right, fire. But
Coolant temp's 275. Yeah.
we're going to keep the main Tesla display, the MCU, right in the middle,
Perfect, yeah.
and we're also going to keep the instrument cluster as well.
Awesome.
So there's actually 2 different integrations we're doing, and this is the first of 2 integrations. This is the standalone that's going to diesel. Yeah.
We're filming.
Yeah. So this is one of 2 integrations we'll be doing. This is the first integration where we have a standalone that runs strictly the LS portion of things, the gas portion of things. It's going to control fuel pressure, fuel pump, engine start, stop, and give us parameters on the engine via wideband and other sensors. And then we have the Tesla integration, which is just going to control the basic BCM functions of the car: body control module, doors open, close, speedometer, sunroof open, close, hatch open, close, and basic things like that. So, give me back to Jimmy. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how technical. That was pretty technical. That was good. I like that. So Haltech makes nice and easy. They make their own like standalone harness. So what that does is basically the parts that need to communicate to a chassis is just right here. You know, it's not defined to any specific chassis plug. So we have a lot of chassis, plugs, like basically, like the start signal and like some other output signals that you might usually go to a stock cluster. And then they also integrate their own fuse box right here. So we have like a fan relay, a fuel pump relay, and a couple other relays built in, so we don't actually have to make a whole nother fuse box for any of the engine components itself.
Right.
So
This is literally everything that you need in pretty much one standalone kit.
exactly. So to start this, we should only have to hook up a couple of these loose wires and beyond the tuning stuff. But yeah, we don't really need much communication to the car right now. So nice and easy.
Right. Easy.
Easy.
Quote him later.
Yeah.
Easy.
11 p.m. Hey, man. This wasn't easy.
So if everything's right, we should be able to just plug all this in. It's all labeled. So do we just get right to it?
Yeah. From here.
Let's see. Yeah, it's I see a head. It's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a big boy, too. Look at it. Yeah.
Oh no, but it's brand new.
Wait. Oh. We have this bundle of wiring, which I was heavily judged for. This is me recycling. This is some of the wiring that we use for the electric Mini Cooper.
I just like how a lot of the wires are just extended with more wires.
Right. I did not do that. I didn't do that. But yeah, so he's gonna be uncovering that rat's nest. That's why I brought it here, so I wouldn't have to do any. All right. So, are you comfortable?
Right now?
Yes.
Great.
Awesome. He's good. I'm gonna take a nap in the truck, and we should be good to go.
Good night, man.
Just kidding. Oil change.
Get all those
It
electric.
does look like ice. You son of a dude. We're getting there, man.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
This is the whole fuel system right here.
Seriously.
That's it.
This what an aggressive fuel system.
Yeah, pretty gnarly.
It's an aggressive rail. I know, right? That's
The epitome of like your junk drawer.
that's
And
hilarious. Yeah, there's got to be a better way. All right, we're doing the pre-flight safety checks. Make sure we have no gas in the canister. Joshua is verifying that we are, in fact, in neutral, which we are in neutral. What else are we doing? We are using, fun fact, this is a Model 3 battery. Did you know that?
I did not.
That is a Model 3 battery. Tesla coming through and saving us once again. So the Model 3 battery is what's going to be starting the LS Tesla for the first time. I am just commentating on everything.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right, fuel pump test. We have, oh my, look at this guy. Risking his life. We got power to the pump. Power to the pump, baby. You hear that pump going?
That's it.
So something's working. So we have fuel. And then what we're going to need next is ignition.
Yeah.
And then,
crank.
sheesh. As the kids say, sheesh. Yeah! This is what I need. It's so loud.
Bougie.
These are bougie headphones. I know.
I'm raw dogging this one.
I'm not raw dogging this.
Yeah, this is gonna be so
Fine. I don't know.
Fine.
All right, we have hearing protection. I have my Raycons in. Ready for liftoff? The countdown.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5. Engine running.
All right, well, now we're getting some fresh air. I guess we could talk about the completely custom made just for this car. This is the only drive shaft like this in the world.
Did you ever make sure it fit?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It does. One of the major thing is that we have no exhaust headers on here. That's the major thing to actually start it up. It's literally on a base cap right now. So right now it's just kind of dumping fuel for safety purposes. We didn't want it to run too lean, so we actually put more fuel into it. After adding more fuel, a lot of the times what happens is the excess fuel, unfortunately, it looked like it was spraying on the sides of the chassis. Yeah, that's definitely fuel for sure.
Good old 93.
Good old 93.
It's like an unspayed and neutered cat.
Seriously. Actually, you know what? Wait a minute. That's 89. It's not 93.
To just taste it and tough.
Because I wouldn't put 93 in the canteen. I wouldn't put it in the canteen. I wouldn't. That's good gas. I wouldn't waste that on a lawnmower. Yeah, no, seriously. So
Is it a mower?
yeah, so it looks like yeah, there was just an excess amount of fuel in there, and that's the reason why I did that. Nothing to do with anything crazy or something malfunctioning. We were just trying to get things set up on a real tune basis. And that's what it started doing. There's no exhaust, really no headers on here. It just kind of dumped all the fuel out there. And what we did, once we stopped it and started again, there was a lot of fuel that was sitting there. And the second we started it up, the spark plugs went and just ignited everything.
Spark.
Plugs. You don't know what those are?
No.
I'm really proud. I think we did a great job. Thank you, team. This is all you. I didn't really do any of this. I just kind of, yeah.
Bring it.
Yeah. I just kind of.
Get in here.
Yeah, get in.
Come making this weird. Come on.
Get in. Yeah.
Ho!
Yeah.
I felt the energy.
Yeah. But no, this is a big deal.
don't have shirts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we need jerseys.
I know. This is a big.
Yeah.
No, but this is.
We need bowling jerseys.
I know. So I guess that's enough stroking myself. I guess get out of the car and look what we do for the exhaust.
Yeah, get in there. Get in the pool.
All right. So the exhaust stuff, real quick. This is what we're gonna do. Let me see. I'm gonna get under here so you can get a good view for what we have going on for the exhaust system. This is where the Joshua's wonderfully made transmission tunnel is. And at the sides, that's where the long tube headers are gonna come out. We have long tubes coming on here. And we're gonna have the pipes go all the way down. And we're gonna have a very low profile muffler right here. And then we're gonna have a 45-degree bend. And the exhaust is actually gonna come out on this side. We're gonna reroute these brake lines. We're actually gonna mount these to inside of the cabin so we could cut out a small cavity right here and have the oval exhaust sticking out. Once that oval exhaust comes out, it's gonna come out approximately right here. A lot of people might ask and say, hey, how come the exhaust isn't coming out the rear? That's because there's not enough clearance out of the bottom for an actual exhaust tube to come out of the rear. So it actually has to be a side exit. We're likely gonna cut out a small section right here and have the exhaust come out. Now, I was kind of debating back and forth as to whether or not what kind of exhaust tubing we're gonna use. At first, I was thinking we were gonna use oval tubing, which I was kind of excited about, but I really do think, because this is where the previous battery cavity was, what we can do is we could actually still use circular tubing. This tubing right here is about 4 inches in diameter, and standard tubing for this car would be about 3 inches. Once I put this 4-inch tube right here, look at that. That's actually not that bad. So having another inch or like half an inch off of the lowest point of this, it actually should sit in there and tuck in pretty nicely. So it shouldn't be all that bad. That's a little bit further out view of it. So I think a 3-inch pipe would fit in here pretty well. What I'll do to experiment, I'm actually just gonna get a 3-inch tube and have it in here, place it up, and see how well it's hidden. What we're gonna start doing, we're gonna start figuring out the final positioning for this shifter mount, because a little bit more up front is where the sequential shifter is gonna go. And I know people complain and say, oh, you know, I really wish you kept it manual. A sequential shifter is still manual, considering you still have to use the clutch, but I think a sequential is just so much cooler, kind of rolling through the gears and being able to tap up and tap down. Your results may vary. When you build your own LS Tesla, you could use whatever shifter you want. Stevon,
Yes.
I want to try this thing again.
Well, no, I understand. I do too.
But, so, let's
Okay.
wait, it's mandatory, this time. It just sounds so good, Steve.
What do you want to hear it on the inside?
I want to hear on the inside, man.
We didn't finish dynamating this though.
Who cares? But, you know what?
Is that black ice in your back pocket? That's weird. What do you got there?
That's what I'm gonna use.
Oh,
That's
clever.
Raycons.
That's cute.
All right, well, let me see for a second. This is cool. This is really cool. So these are noise isolating headphones. They come in an array of different colors. Raycon's doing things very differently. And you know what I love most about them, Stevon? Not the multiple colors they come in. The fact that they don't look like Q-tips that are sticking in your ear. That's the best thing.
Yeah,
about
they
them.
look fancy.
They really do fancy. I love it. They also come in blue, but I like the red. They look fancy and flashy, just like this LS Tesla, Stevon. It was co-founded by Ray J, and many artists such as Snoop Dogg also use Raycon earbuds. The noise isolation is awesome. You get 6 hours of playtime, and awesome bass. And lastly, most important thing, Stevon, is the price. Okay? I want you to go to the link in the description box below. www.buyraycon.com/richrebuilds. And you get 15% off the earbuds. They're awesome. Just try them. Let's see what the pizza looks like. I'm going the other side. Here comes the pizza, Joshua. Let's see Joshua's handiwork. That's damn nice. That's damn fine work, Joshua. I like it a lot.
You can take the seat frame rail out too.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I want to scratch it, thank you.
Wow. All you have to do is read one welding book, and you get these sticks beat.
One welding book.
Look at those.
One welding book. Joshua's first time welding aluminum, I gotta say. I mean, you know what my welds look like. They don't look like this.
Everybody knows what yours look like.
Everyone in the world knows what they look like, yes. Absolutely. But I think this looks absolutely phenomenal. Nice job, Joshua. I mean, this is great. At first, I was under the impression that this was gonna be too tall and we'd have to get rid of the middle seat, but you found a way to make it low profile enough to actually keep the rear seat frame and the passenger in the middle, the center passenger. I think that is awesome. Unfortunately, this is covered up by the seat, but the cool part is having this big, bright, shiny piece that's exposed. I think that's a nice touch too. Yeah, I like it.
What'd you say the percentage of this is now? Complete?
50%.
We're halfway there. Whoa! Well, anyways, 50% of the way there, and then we'll start putting the interior back together and have the real fun idea of how to design this.
Yeah, that center console.
Yacht floor turns into a normal center console, but has a shaft.
That center console is going to be
Sequential
absolutely-
shifter sticking out of it.
Seriously, that's going to be something else.
People complain that Tesla cup holders are too small as is, but these ones will be so small you don't have any.
You probably won't even have. We'll probably have to.
No, I'm gonna still put them in
We'll
there.
do the vent-mounted cup holder.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the real. No, I'm gonna do something.
I mean, that could. I mean, whatever. We'll see.
That's
if we have to
cheesy.
work
We're gonna
with
make it that better than
it.
that.
We'll see if we have to work.
Yeah.
With it. But yeah, that's gonna be funny. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you didn't, I'm sure you'll let people on Twitter and Reddit know. But I want to thank everyone for coming together to make this happen. Jimmy and RJ, awesome guys. Thank you for making the trip. Make sure that you check out their YouTube. They're absolutely amped to get this car on the road. Now, before I end it, and let's just say your mom and dad didn't let you use the computer, this is why we're doing it. Everything on the planet has been LS swapped except for this. It's a fun engineering, fabrication, and learning exercise. With the sequential shifter, the car will definitely be more fun to drive. And to those saying, I'm going backwards and spending money to make the car slower, enjoying life, making something no one has ever seen with friends, and watching the world react is something I hope you get to experience someday. Don't worry about how someone else is spending their money and stick to what you do best. I'll see you next week.